This conference will now be recorded.
Hi friends, I hope you all will be doing well. Today we are going to discuss about SAP Global Trade Services edition for SAP HANA. As part of this discussion, we are going to have a brief introduction of SAP Global Trade Services, which is also called as SAP GTS. We will see evolution of SAP Global Trade Services. And then we will understand a brief introduction of SAP Global Trade Services edition for SAP HANA. We will also see some of the benefits of SAP GTS edition for SAP HANA. And then finally, we will see modules which are available in this specific edition. So let's start with our discussion. So, as stated earlier, first we are going to discuss a brief introduction about SAP Global Trade Services. I know that some of you already know about this module very well. So let's have a quick introduction about this specific module. SAP GTS, which is also called as a SAP Global Trade Services, is one of the SAP application, that replaces the existing foreign trade functionality in SAP R3. To conduct business in other countries, generally companies have to follow, you know, local rules and regulations. They need to fulfill documents requirements and also understand complex tariff and duties. If they are failed to do so, then it will be expensive for them. And that is where SAP GTS comes in. SAP GTS is an ERP based solution which is meant for companies that are primarily into international operation, right? Meaning what? Meaning if companies are trading internationally, whenever they are exporting their products, right? Whenever they are selling their product to a customer located outside the country, or whenever they are importing something from other countries, then only this specific module comes into picture. So companies which have trading agreements with a large network of partners across the globe with operation in various countries are most likely to use this specific application. So whenever companies are doing business internationally, they need to follow local rules and regulations. They need to submit required set of documents whenever shipments cross the border, and that is where SAP GTS comes in. With the SAP GTS, we can automate our global trade processes, right? So with the help of SAP GTS, all relevant customs processing activities like product classification, export and import declarations, all those processes can be automated. With the help of SAP GTS, we can also communicate with the national customs authorities directly, right? Which can significantly reduces processing times and transaction cost for goods movement. So now let's see the evolution of SAP GTS. And you all know that SAP GTS started in the year 2002. In 2002 only, SAP introduced this module with the first version, which is SAP GTS 1.0. And since then, many versions came into the picture, like SAP GTS 2.0, 3.0, 7.0, 7.1, 7.2, 8.0, 10.0, 10.1, and 11.0. 11.0 is the version which is being used by most of the companies. In 2021, SAP came up with new version of SAP GTS, which is called as a SAP GTS Edition for SAP HANA. And the last year, that is 2023, they again came up with a new version, which is SAP GTS Edition for SAP HANA 2023. And please remember, it is ongoing processes, meaning every 2 years, that's the SAP plan, that every 2 years, SAP is going to introduce a new version. Yeah. So let's see some of the, the brief introduction about SAP GTS edition for SAP HANA. All right. So we understood that most of the companies are using SAP GTS system for their customs and foreign trade processes. The version which they are currently using is called SAP GTS 11.0. But most important, that the current version which is 11.0 will be expired from SAP maintenance on December 31st, 2025. And because it is going to be expired, right? Because GTS 11.0, which is being used by most of the companies, it will be expired by December 31st, 2025. The successor of this version is SAP GTS Edition for SAP HANA. You know, I hope you all know that this specific version, which is SAP GTS Edition for SAP HANA, was officially, introduced or available since Q4 2021, but it was not being used by most of the companies. But with a new version which introduced last year, that is SAP GTS edition for SAP HANA 2023. Now SAP wants to encourage all companies to make the switch from 11.0 to SAP GTS edition for SAP HANA. It means anyone, any companies who wants to continue using SAP GTS, they must switch their system from SAP GTS 11.0 to SAP GTS edition for HANA 2023. Please understand that it is very important for us to understand that SAP GTS edition for SAP HANA is a completely new version, right? It is a new solution, and that's the reason we cannot say that it is an update of the existing GTS 11.0. Meaning what? Meaning SAP GTS edition for HANA is a newly developed standalone solution. As the name suggests, SAP GTS edition for HANA, this system is using SAP HANA database, right? And most important, that companies who are going to use SAP GTS edition for HANA, they need a new license from SAP for this version, right? Let's see some of the benefits of SAP GTS edition for SAP HANA. Here I have listed some of the benefits. I know these are few benefits. There are so many benefits which are available in the current version, which is edition for SAP HANA 2023. But let's see few of them. SAP GTS Edition for SAP HANA is the robust solution for global trade management. And why it is a robust solution? Because we all understood that SAP GTS Edition for SAP HANA is using in-memory technology, right? It is using SAP own database. This enables fast data processing, providing real-time analytics and reporting, which are essential for almost all companies. In today's, global trade processes, businesses are facing increasingly complex regulatory requirements and high demand for operational efficiency. So, to meet these challenges, only some companies started using SAP GTS, right? However, the advances and businesses need change, it becomes imperative for companies to stay up to date with the latest innovation in SAP GTS. And that is where SAP came up with a new solution, a new system, so called SAP GTS Edition for HANA. Second benefit, code deployment option for the integration. You know, this is one of the most important point of this specific version. We will discuss, in some other session what is code deployment. We will discuss thoroughly. But so let's have a brief introduction about code deployment option for the integration. Historically, SAP GTS was recommended as a standalone application, right? We all know that SAP GTS is a standalone application. But with this new release of SAP GTS Edition for SAP HANA 2023, SAP has introduced this specific option called as code deployment option. So in this case, if companies, so whenever companies are um, you know going with SAP GTS Edition for HANA, they will have two options. Either they are going with code deployment option, or they are going with standalone options. As we discuss that, we will discuss this point in some other sessions. So let's understand at high level that if companies are going with code deployment option, then they do not require a standalone system for SAP GTS. In this case, SAP GTS will be using same HANA database of S4, but with different client. And this option is very useful for a client, right? If they do not want to go with standalone system, and if they are not going with standalone system, then this will have a significant, lower cost if we compare with standalone implementation. But please remember that this specific option, which is code deployment option, is useful for small and medium sized businesses, you know if they have a limited number of users. Any businesses who have m- more users, then this option is not right. So there are advantages and disadvantages also, which we will be discussing sometime later. But with this version, which is SAP GTS Edition for SAP HANA 2023 only, this option is available, which is code deployment option, right? Next benefit is enhanced user experience. This is also one of the major change. in this edition, which is in GTS edition for SAP HANA. So with this version, SAP came up with SAP Fiori Launchpad. What does it mean? It means that all SAP GUI transactions which we use in, let's say, in GTS 11.0 are transformed into Fiori tiles. It means that going forward, we are not going to use SAP GTS area menu, right? But we need to use SAP Fiori Launchpad. And we all know, because in this functionality is also available in S4 system, in S4 side, we all know that this specific option is very, easy to use. It is very transparent, right? And this will also transform the user experience, right? So this is very useful functionality given by SAP, which is SAP Fiori Launchpad. Next benefit is redesigned app. What does it mean? As we understood that now SAP is moving to the SAP Fiori Launchpad, it is possible to create our own applications. We can create our own app to improve the usability of the solution. So we can redesign our app, whatever we require for any specific application area. Now coming to next benefit, which is improved trade preference management capabilities. Whenever we talk about the conversion from SAP GTS 11.0 to SAP GTS edition for SAP HANA, this is again one of the most important part where SAP has improved trade preference functionality. The associated reports and transactions which are related to trade preference management have been replaced with new report and obviously with Fury applications. SAP GTS edition for HANA is also helping in determining preferential origin on the batch level. The batch level was not present in the previous version, but which is available only in this version. There are other benefits also in when it comes to trade preference management. Example, when we talk about STO process, for STO, the trade preference management was not possible, right? But with this version, we can also use STO process for our uh, trade preference management processes. Coming to next benefit, which is review of user roles and authorizations. User roles and authorizations have been completely redesigned in SAP GTS Edition for HANA. The new authorization system is offering a more security and flexibility, which ensures that users only have access to the functionalities and data necessary for their specific roles. Apart from this, there are other benefits as well which I have not listed. Example, SAP has improved the integration with SAP transportation management and extended warehouse management when it comes to integration with SAP GTS. SAP has also improved SAP S4 HANA order to cash process, where if you go to sales order line item, in the line item level we have a tab called as status. So if you go to the sales order and scheduling agreement line item status tab, SAP has given a new option which is license type indicator. which was not available earlier. Similarly, we have other benefits also, which we will be discussing further in other discussions. But with this, we all understood that there are some of the, you know, benefit of, in fact, not some, there are many benefits when we are going with edition for SAP HANA, right? But most important, we understood that all companies who are using any version of SAP GTS like SAP GTS 11.0, they need to switch to SAP GTS Edition for SAP HANA after December 31st, 2025. And these are the modules available in this new solution. Why I am mentioning this specific slide, because yes, in general, we all know that in SAP GTS we had four modules, right? We had compliance management, customs management, risk management, and then electronics compliance reporting, ECR, right? When it comes to GTS 11.0 as an example. But with this new version, which is SAP GTS edition for SAP HANA, now there is a little bit change. Yes, we will have a compliance management, no change at all. We'll have customs management, no change at all. But when it comes to risk management, now risk management is not part of this SAP GTS edition for HANA solution. So in risk management, we all know that we had, we have in fact three modules, right? We have trade preference management, letter of credit, and restitution. Now SAP has removed other two modules, which is letter of credit and restitution, because the letter of credit solutioning will be done by another module, which is called as a SAP Treasury and Risk Management. And they also removed functionality of restitution. So as part of risk management, now we have, you know, third module called as a preference management, right? And yes, the fourth one is intrastate reporting, which was part of electronics compliance reporting. So this was the brief introduction about this, this new version of SAP GTS, which is SAP Global Trade Services edition for SAP HANA. If you have any question, please, ping a question and we will discuss. Thank you so much. This is also, I have given this, Fury Launchpad, one of the screenshot from the SAP GTS edition for HANA. And I hope you all are aware of Fury tiles, that whenever we want to perform any business transactions, we can go to SAP Fury and we can perform our activity. Yeah. So that's all for this session. If you have any question, we will be discussing later. Thank you so much for spending your time. Bye. Happy learning.